Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now y'all know I like to talk about the Negro League fighters. I've been saying over the years, Deontay Wilder, Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, then to a lesser extent your boy, what's my man here that's the heavyweight, that's not really a heavyweight, Michael Hunter. Nobody fights him. Then you go down to middleweight, Demetrius Andrade, back in the day, to a lesser extent, to Charlo, Then, I'll go down to then Terrence Crawford, right? Didn't say Errol Spence, because Errol Spence would always get his props. Then talk about Terrence Crawford and Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson entered the Negro Leagues. Then you had, Guillermo Rigondeaux, and you get the point, right? Negro League fighters that we know is awesome, but, they just don't get the props and the love they're supposed to get, for different reasons. But it's basically the same reason, but, they'll say it's different reasons. And, basically, maybe I shouldn't go that route. Let's talk about the Mexican leagues, because, the Negro Leagues are in a different league. The Mexican leagues, right? The Mexican league is a little different. It's like, it's the second division. If you're from somewhere where you pay attention to football or soccer, it's the second division. Or for NBA players, it's like the G League. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're baseball, it's like the minor leagues. But the only difference is they get paid more than the major leagues. They get paid more than the Premier Division. They get paid more than the NBA players. It is what it is, without having to deal with these people that are very talented, right? And it's a Mexican league. And it just constantly happens in the world of boxing. And, it gets to the point where promoters and networks would rather pay these guys, overpay them, just to have them this illusion that they're at the top. They never have to face the people in the first division or in the NBA, or in the major leagues. They don't have to face them. They can go around them, and we could just say that they're better. And it just keeps happening, right? And it's funny, but it's really not funny. But it's funny. And, the president of that, it has to be Canelo Alvarez. When you talk about him, they will just say, without paying attention to what you're saying, you're hating on the guy, right? But won't say anything about any facts. We're just stating facts, and you act like we're not supposed to see them. Now, Canelo rose to become the face of boxing when he was the mandatory challenger for Demetrius Andrade at 154 pounds. Decided not to fight him. Demetrius gets stripped, then he fights Liam Smith for the same belt. While I'm saying these things, you guys make your notes and tell me a black person that's done this before, right? Just tell me a black person that's done this before, so you can come back and say, well, here's something for your Negro Leagues, right? Because I'm just saying, we're just paying attention. Canelo done that. He comes up to 160, tells everyone he wants to become undisputed at 160. All he had to do was get one more belt, the WBO belt, from that same Demetrius Andrade, for the most money he ever made. I'm not going to do it, and deem that guy as a horrible fighter, which actually is kind of a stupid thing to say, right? Because wouldn't you fight a horrible fighter to get undisputed in the middleweight division? And people say Demetrius Andrade has no chin, he got beat up by David Benavidez, all these things, but let's fight. You could have fought him and beat him if he's so bad, right? He's got to be better than, or worse than Yildirim. He's got to be worse than Callum Smith. He's got to be worse than Amir Khan. He's got to be worse than John Ryder. He's got to be worse than Roy Fielding, right? You would just go in and beat this one up because he's horrible. Those other ones are great, right? So, Canelo gets beat by Bivol, right? Doesn't readdress that, right? Got two mandatories in his division right now, and David Morrell and David Benavidez ain't going to do that. But I'm not going to even go there. We'll just talk about what Jaime Munguia, that's the guy he's about to fight, right? Jaime Munguia then backed himself into a big fight with Canelo Alvarez by avoiding Demetrius Andrade. He was his mandatory. Mandatory, guys. Remember, jot this down and see if you can find a black guy that's been a mandatory that just says, I'm not going to fight the champion, and then I'll be heralded as better than that guy, or I'll get a lucrative fight by avoiding the champion. Jaime Munguia done that with Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo at 160 pounds. He didn't want to even get a championship in the middleweight division, just moves up to 168. Now he's in a title fight. All right? I was about to do a video, and it's going to be called Gracias William Cepeda. Because William Cepeda called out Shakur Stevenson. I was like, thank you. I can really do a positive Mexican video, because it's nothing, they're my boys. I ain't got nothing against some Mexicans. I talk to them all the time. They're my boys. But I'll be honest, I don't really talk boxing with them so much, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, on the surface, we get along real fine. So I want to do a positive Mexican video. But come to find out, William Cepeda's trainer don't want him to even fight Shakur Stevenson. So they might not even fight Shakur Stevenson. They're talking about the Kambosos, what's the other dude? Lomachenko winner. Right? So that might not even happen. I was like, damn. So speaking of not fighting Shakur Stevenson, Isaac Cruz. Got the moniker as the Pit Bull, right? Pitbull Cruz. He was in an eliminator fight, supposedly. They told him you can fight an eliminator fight against Shakur Stevenson. He says, no, I'm not doing that. Now he's going to fight Rolly Romero. But he was trying to fight somebody worse than Rolly Romero instead of that. And then want to back into a Gervonta Tank Davis fight, second fight. Right? He got all his props from losing to Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta Davis had one hand in that fight. Right? But he didn't want to fight Shakur Stevens and didn't have to. Another Mexican guy. I want to let him get away with this, but I'm not. Virgil Ortiz. 19-0. 20-0 now, 20 knockouts. Awesome. He was supposed to be mandatory for Terrence Crawford. Refused to do it. Somebody with just 100% knockout ratio, it's only him and Better Biv rolling around like that. Should be some confidence there. I ain't fighting no damn Terrence Crawford. I ain't got to. I got these other issues. I'm out of here. Even though he's awesome, they still ain't even saying, hey, Virgil Ortiz, then ain't this Jerron Boots in your division? Go beat him up. Guy ain't got to fight him either. All right, he's going to be able to go beat around the bush, and they were supposed to fight Stanionis. He just said, forget Terrence Crawford and the real title. I'm going to go fight Stanionis for this regular title or something. Or some other stuff. And the WBA. This is what he did. You know what I'm saying? Am I forgetting anybody? Oh, Jose Ramirez, you 140-pounder. Thought I forgot you, didn't you? No. He was supposed to fight your boy, the dude who got beat up by Devin Haney, right? Regis Prograis. Just said, no, I ain't doing it. Now we ain't heard from Ramirez, right? There's a whole lot of Mexicans, man. I'm going to just tell you. Barrera and them, and Cesar Chavez and them boys, I know they're like, what the hell is going wrong with these boys? Listen, you can lose fights, you can lose fights, but you're going to have to get into them. Oscar De La Hoya, who gets all this flack about, being in high heels and whatever. It could have been Halloween or something. I don't know why he was in high heels and whatever he was doing. But I tell you what he did. He climbed through those damn ropes and fought whoever's supposed to be somebody, So I don't know, what's going on with the Mexican. But, that's the Mexican League. Because all of these fighters have done things like that, which I haven't seen anybody of color do. And none of them gets backlashed. So therefore, that's why it's a Mexican league. You can beat around the bush, play in the second leagues, and get more money than them dudes who everyone knows is better. Gracias. Doma Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.